churro. You know, cost.
Well, they haven't done anything yet, so, I mean, you gotta keep that in mind.
You mean churro?
Yeah, I mean, besides the roadmap,
Yeah.
which was free. I mean, you don't pay for the roadmap.
Yeah.
So we're gonna begin the meeting at 3:00. Let's go through the agenda, then we can get back to that. Nobody here from the public. June minutes, anything you'd like to add, subtract?
Well,
No.
should I change the,
Yeah,
next meeting is planned for July 9th, should I change
yeah,
it?
just change it to today, 23rd, July 23rd. And we're still gonna take August off.
Okay.
All right, so all in favor, accepting the minutes, aye.
Aye.
All right, they can be posted. Get our logistics out of the way. All right, so climate leader status. So this is what Truro ended up with as their, and I sent you a link to it.
I brought my
Yeah, you
computer.
brought your
because
computer.
I didn't want to print out 24
I know,
pages.
I don't blame you. And I know you are all looking for a cost, like what is it gonna cost to reduce vehicle fossil fuels by 100%, you know, so there. And I think that the bottom line is that
I think
there
that's also.
isn't a cost, but you can't, okay,
That's
so
what
when
the
you
Board of
bought,
Selectmen are after too.
right, and they're not gonna get it because there isn't.
Well, you need to explain that to them.
Right, because, okay, let's use your car as an example. Okay, how long have you owned your car?
3.5 years.
3.5 years, okay. So you paid X number of dollars for your car. Now, if we are talking about, we want to convert like our municipal fleet here to EVs, like Teslas, for example. If we had started talking about this 3 years ago, we would have used your number, right? This is what it costs for a Tesla. That is
And I-
not the number today.
And I never spent a penny
Right,
at the garage.
right.
Not
But
a
I'm just,
penny. And no gas,
right,
no garage.
but I'm saying that if the town went, well, what is it going to cost us to convert to EVs? That's,
Yeah.
I have no idea, because I don't know when you're gonna do it,
Right.
if you're
And
doing it.
how many?
And how many,
Yeah.
and what are you buying?
And how powerful?
Right, and what are you buying? You're buying a Tesla, you're buying a Ford, what are you buying? So I think that's a red herring
Yeah.
to talk about cost, because until you have something specific to price out, then,
You're talking air.
You're talking air, you're
Yeah.
talking air.
Yeah,
What would it cost to make this building net zero?
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
What are you putting heat pumps in? Are you gonna put individual units? Are you getting a whole big system? I don't know. Are you putting solar panels up at the same time? I don't know. I can't tell you what it's gonna cost to make this building net zero. But once you commit to looking at it, then you drill down. So if this year, if our roadmap says in 2027, we're going to begin to modify the town hall, because maybe the equipment is old enough, that it needs replacing, and now it's time for us to
Or insulation.
whatever, So we sit down and we say, okay, it's time to do something with the town hall. What do we need to do? Is it adequately insulated? So we would get somebody to come in and check the insulation and give us a price for upgrading the insulation. Is it, what kind of system are we going to look at? You and I, we don't know how to pick those systems, but the people in the maintenance, like Sean Libby, this is what they do. He could sit, so, well, this is this system, and this system, and this system, and let's do the pros and cons. And then, pardon?
Turn the recorder on?
Yes, yeah. And then we would come up with a plan, and the plan would cost X amount of dollars. then we can apply, let's suppose we are a climate leader at this point. We go to the climate leader grant program and we say, this is our plan, this is what it's gonna cost, and we apply for the $1 million, you know, or whatever amount of money it's gonna cost us. What we do here is not what Truro is doing. You know, it's like their buildings are small. And they don't have very many of them, you know, because they're a much smaller town.
All you're saying, it's absolutely understood. Deborah Ennis told me that what the BOS is objecting the most is the Builders Guild
Oh, yeah.
poses.
Yeah.
So why do
What do
they?
you call
The Builders Guild. Don't you say guild in English?
It's probably it's some
The
sort
trade.
of trade. It's the trade organization.
The
yeah.
trade, the Builders Trade Organization opposes, probably because they're afraid of change,
Right.
and they don't know how to apply. What is the HERS?
Yeah.
They don't know how to
Right,
apply HERS.
Right,
or
because
whatever.
they, in the
But-
olden days, the building code didn't cover energy. You just put a heating system in. That's all you had to do, right? You know, you didn't have to. There might have been some minimal insulation that was required, you know, to sell the house, but that was it. You didn't have to get any kind of HERS rating or anything like that. And so a lot of the builders they just don't know what this is. And unfortunately, what's happened is that because most of our trades, and I'm talking smaller trades, you know that big, like
The 28 unit there?
the Eastward Hoe, you know, what do they call themselves? You see the Cape Associates and some of the really big construction companies you see putting up all these developments, they have a whole department that does HERS. They're not really objecting to it. It's the smaller builders, because if you're a small builder, let's suppose that it's you and some subcontractors. Well, you have to subcontract out the HERS rating. So you have to pay somebody
I see.
to come in and do the HERS rating, because you personally can't do it. You're not qualified to do it.
So what about if because we need to educate ourselves in order to learn how to fight this. And I think the person who can teach us is Sean Libby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure he's 100% on board, you know.
I don't think he is on
Right.
board, but
And-
I think
yeah.
by teaching us,
Yeah,
he might become on board,
yeah.
because he is stuck in his little reality, and anything, you know, alien to what is his little reality, he's objecting it.
Right.
It's uncomfortable, it's
Right.
change. And the other thing I would do, I would invite Lisa Sullivan again and tackle the same things again with specifics, examples.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not sure Sean Libby is going to be our best ally in this. I mean, he definitely is
But
involved,
we-
you know, but
he's not going to be our ally,
Yeah.
but we can use the interaction. It's enriching for him, enriching for us. Under that pretext.
yeah.
So,
And what would you ask him if he came to a meeting?
I would ask him, we would like to know what have you done at the Cultural Center in Season Road? What are the upgrades you have done? That is something I asked 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and I never got a reply. What is he doing? Where is he? And with the idea of learning, pretend that we are learning, which is true. We're trying to learn and see how it goes with this. You know, what are the obstacles? What are the barriers?
Well, I think right now, as far as most of this stuff, I think the town would be fine with. Things like upgrading heating and cooling systems, and putting in heat pumps, particularly if they had access to money, like a grant that would help cover most of the cost of something like that. So that I don't think is the buildings are not our problem. Our problem right now is the
trade.
the
Small trade.
the small builders,
Small builders.
because they don't want to see any change. They don't want to.
We could ask Sean Libby, how
But-
would you approach them?
Yeah. Well,
How would you manage
I would
them?
rather talk to the building inspector because he is the
Well,
one that
phenomenal then, the building inspector.
he's the one that deals with them every single day.
Yeah.
You know,
So he
Sean
can-
is all he deals with is municipal. He has
Okay.
nothing to do with like.
Yeah.
Who is the building inspector?
It's changed so many times. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. So that might be.
Didn't we have a
We
building?
did. We had, but he's not here anymore. So we did have a building inspector come in, and he complained that it was too confusing to follow the building code.
Weren't they supposed to give them some kind of training program? Or
Yeah, you know, and who knows what's happened since then.
And would Lisa know how to approach that kind of, because I'm sure we're not unique. Maybe Lisa would have a suggestion how to go, how to manage this resistance from the small builders trade.
Okay.
You're speculating about that, but we don't really know that that's a fact. But it's probably true. But you know what you're saying. I mean, we really we don't have any people.
Well, I know that when I first did
We
my
don't have any names to put down here and say these 5 guys or don't know anything about it or something like that.
No, what the first time I presented the climate leader program, a builder did get up and speak against it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know his name. I don't remember who he was.
We need to invite those people here
So
and tell
you've
us
done
why.
more than two presentations?
Too.
Yeah,
Oh,
two.
I was at both of them.
Yeah, we were at both.
Yep.
So I don't remember
You
something.
don't remember that guy getting up? He
No,
got-
because we don't understand.
No, wait a minute.
That's
I
a-
understand. I don't. Did we leave too early or?
No, we didn't.
No, he was a builder, and he got up and he spoke and said, this is a bad idea because of the the code. Not because of anything else, but because of the,
Complexity of the code.
right, the opt-in code.
Mm.
I can't even, where's it? I need departments here. Departments. Building. Okay, the Harwich. I don't think we have a permanent building inspector right now.
Why?
Yeah, I think we only have a, it says that the Harwich Board of Assessors has,
But there must be someone, even unofficially, someone who deals with that matter, because there
Yeah.
are things
yeah,
being built all
I'll
the
have
time.
I'll have to ask Dan, because I know we're in between inspectors, and there's a lot of departments, as you know,
Mhm.
don't have a full staff, you know, so I will look into that. So I think probably circling back to Lisa,
Mhm.
maybe getting the building inspector in here to talk a little bit more about the stretch, the opt-in stretch code and
And how does he see this effort, you know, to start implementing hers?
right. I mean, they have to do a little bit of it already. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like brand new. I mean, there
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
all they're taking is the HERS rating you have to, it gets a little tighter, you know, you have to. So it's not like they didn't have to do hers and now
Yeah,
they do. They
I
already
remember Barry
do.
Margolin gave us
Yeah,
a lecture 2 years ago
yeah.
to teach us on where
Right.
we were.
So, yes, I will circle back to Lisa to see if she has any suggestions.
And be persistent,
Right.
Valerie, because I think that one day we are going to
Right.
break
Yeah.
break it.
Well,
Well,
I mean-
let me mention
One
that.
day we're gonna what?
we will open the obstacle and the door and be able
The
to.
floodgates?
Yes, thank you, the floodgates. That's a good expression. But I want to go back to what Deborah told me. She is thinking that maybe the climate action plan that the Cape Cod Commission produced, as is being implemented in other towns like Eastham specifically, could be an alternative to the climate leader.
I agree. You know, there may be another road that we can take to get there. But here's my problem. Who's doing this? I'm not going to sit down and write a climate action report. The three of us are not going to have the time or the wherewithal to do this.
We could copy this, what's it called?
I have another problem.
I can make up things with dollar signs with no numbers on
Yeah,
them.
I have another problem, Valerie.
We could copy and paste the thing from right out of there.
But that's not going to address our specific needs. To do a good climate action plan, you would need to have the time to go to the town and get all the information about each municipal building. How much energy are they using? How old is the heating equipment? How, you know, I mean, this is not an easy thing. You just don't go spend an afternoon and you got one, you know.
May I say that the comprehensive plan is working under the guidance, so to speak, of the Cape Cod Commission.
Well, the comprehensive plan has never been voted in, so we are still working with the last one.
There we are.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot.
Yeah. So
No progress.
We
That's exactly my point.
right. So here's the thing. Personally, I believe that it's the town's responsibility to be sensitive to the needs and wants of the community.
Absolutely.
And if we get enough of our community that says we want to be more climate friendly, you know, oriented.
And take into consideration decarbonization.
Right.
Start somewhere.
Right. And so I'm not ready to give up
Yeah.
pressuring
Yeah.
the
Good
town.
though.
Absolutely.
But you're fighting, you're like one person against a glacier here.
But that's okay. I mean,
That's
this happened when we first became a green community. This was the same problem. You know, they didn't want it.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Well,
You know,
what
so-
about working Anita Doucette and Mark Kelleher
Well, I'm going back. You know, I'm gonna because they at the
individually? I mean,
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. First, I have to figure out have they done anything since. Because
Right.
remember, they were going to meet with all the
Yeah, true.
the heads of all the departments and
True.
figure out if they, you know.
A little
I've got-
follow up there.
So I'm gonna try to get an appointment with our assistant town administrator, who is now the interim town administrator.
Megan Eldridge.
Yeah, Megan, and see, you know, because she would be involved in that. I mean, she would organize that.
Yeah, and it would be
Right,
terrific to involve her.
Right.
You know,
So, but-
involve her.
right. So I'm gonna check in with Megan
And this.
to see if anything has happened since.
Right. That would be terrific.
And
where do we
I
stand?
I can't really make any future plans until I know if they did anything or not.
Yeah, and what can be done in order for them to do something.
Right. And then, you know, if they haven't done anything, then it's time to go back
Mhm.
and ask again, you know, and,
Do you know where Eldridge stands personally? Is she in favor?
I don't know.
That
I
would
don't
be
know.
great to
Yeah.
know if
Well,
she
maybe
is
I
with
could
us.
figure that out when I talk to her, but,
Absolutely.
What's
so,
her name?
Megan Eldridge.
yeah.
She's the town administrator.
She was the one at the last meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
She was originally the assistant administrator, but
She
then when
is
Joe
the
Powers
person.
went,
She is the person, I'm
and
sure.
they put her, you know, as interim, I still think they're looking, which I think is,
Unfair.
if she's good enough
Unfair.
to do interim,
Unfair.
just hire her.
Why this
You know?
Chiara guy
You know,
coming from nowhere?
coming from who knows where, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was at town band Tuesday night a couple of weeks ago. Guess who was there?
Mark Kelleher.
Well, yeah.
Joe Powers?
But the old town administrator was sitting about 10 feet from me. They even introduced him there.
Yeah.
He's still,
was he?
he's still hanging around here. He didn't move out of town either. That
He's still looking for a job. So
he still lives here.
that's fine. He can be a citizen. There's no.
I'm just saying that he hasn't gone someplace
No,
else.
but
I don't think he.
But he closed the doors for us
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah. So, from my point of view, I still think it's worth just keeping track, revisiting, you know, and just keep, because the
So you're gonna contact them?
Yep, I'll contact Megan first, find out, did anything happen? Then I'll talk to Lisa to see if she has any suggestions about where do we go from here.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she has a feeling.
Right,
What are we dealing with?
right. And we can look at this just for our own edification, you know, to see that, you know,
I read it
what's
from
a
A to Z.
yeah, you know, unfortunately, I didn't print a color copy, so the graphs are hard to read, but, you know, it's just what, you know, they have the year built, square footage, if they're gonna keep the building or not.
They got a lot of data, that's for sure.
Yeah, they have a lot of data, and then
It's a good job.
kind of what their,
Remember my
Plans
questions
are-
to her?
Not exactly, no,
Would
what
you like
I,
to- Would you like to use this?
I think I may have
You
made a
must have
copy
it.
of it.
Yeah, you must have it.
one of the things that I found a little lacking in this was, like specifics, like it says they're going to reduce, like, carbon or HVAC electrification, but they don't really say much beyond that, like, so it doesn't, this even itself, this roadmap is not that specific, you know.
That's very
it,
true.
um,
And maybe you could ask Liz if she could come up with very clear, simple examples, very to the point, on EVs, on buildings, on all the areas.
Well,
4 or 5 areas.
Yeah.
Very specific, something that would open the eyes with the
Yeah.
Board of
you
Selectmen.
also, we have to keep in mind that, you know, we live in Harwich and we tend to be very local, like that's where our thinking is.
Absolutely.
But we live in a
15 town.
well, also we live in the United States that has gone wackadoodle, you know, and this current administration is stripping. They want to get rid of all the climate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every single day, there's a big new storm that's caused by climate change, and it continues every single day in the news, and they're still stupid.
Yeah, because I work for the Department of Interior, right? And so we get this little notice, like this little video newsletter. I used to look forward to seeing them. Now I dread it because the last one I looked at, they were so excited because Fearless Leader has made it possible to open new coal mines on private land, on public land. Isn't that wonderful? We are going to be leaders in coal.
Nobody wants to mine coal. Nobody wants to.
Nobody who
burn
uses coal.
anymore.
Shameful.
It's shameful, you know. So one of the problems that we have to understand is that we live in a bigger community. Some of our community follow that. And I believe some of the selectmen might follow that.
I agree.
You have to be very careful about saying negative things about certain. They're suing the Wall Street Journal because something Trump said in one, or something they said, or something about this bawdy letter that
Right.
he wrote to
Right.
Epstein.
Right.
So they're suing him for $10 billion.
Right.
With the freedom of press is almost gone.
Right.
Like you can't
Right.
oppose him. If you say oppose him, he
goes after
will
you.
attack
Look
you
at Harvard.
financially.
Look at Harvard, the most prestigious university in the world, been here since the 1600s. And they're in court, you know. So keep in mind, we don't have to deal with it directly, but there's a background noise out there that makes anything to do with climate much more difficult than it was
Absolutely.
before.
Absolutely.
So to Deborah contacted me, to Deborah Enos, and so I sent you a link later I sent it, but it was late, you probably didn't see it yet, to the Cape Cod Commission Climate Action Toolkit. All right, so you can go and look at that. I brought one thing that I thought from the toolkit that I think we can tackle, because it's not it's in our wheelhouse, it's not that technical. And of the things they listed, when you go and look at it, they listed areas that you can work on in the toolkit. And this is improve public understanding of climate change. And so this is what the Cape Cod Commission, so if you look at the benefits over on the little light blue box in the front here, you know, a lot of benefits, you know, greenhouse gas emissions, health
Is this
improvement.
available online?
Yes, I sent you the link
Okay,
in your
'cause
email.
I'd like to put the link in the minutes.
Okay, it's in your email.
Right.
Okay.
I hear what you said,
Yeah.
Valerie, and I think it's super valid, but we have to persist very slowly, very determined.
Yeah, we have to be patient.
Yes.
Yeah, don't give up.
No, right.
You know, I
Yeah.
think it feels like we're not getting anywhere, but
Yeah.
if not for us, they wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, so the very least that we did
Yeah.
was bring it up, you know. So now they have to respond to us, you know. And I think that's.
I wonder also, what does Christine Flynn, what is her perception of the community?
Who?
Christine Flynn, the head of the comprehensive plan.
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, but
Yeah.
my point
Yeah.
is, that
What's
let
her
me
name?
make my,
What's her name?
Christine Flynn, F-L-Y.
Oh, Christine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm mispronouncing it, whatever. Because she has a feeling for what the community feels because of her comprehensive plan. I would like to hear from her. What is your perception about any energy-related topics?
Beyond what is printed in the plan,
Yeah.
I don't know anything beyond that.
Okay.
So
What, you have a feeling?
I have a feeling that they would not have included it in the plan if they didn't feel the community supported it. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah.
So I think that the fact that it's in the plan
Speaks for itself.
speaks for itself,
Mhm.
but it also speaks that the selectmen didn't like it and refused to put it on the warrant.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think it was the energy part alone that
Yeah.
made them not like it. I think
Yeah.
there was a lot of things I didn't like about it.
But that piece of information is interesting to us.
Right.
It educates us.
Right. Now, I'll bring up one other thing. We voted this last go-round to form, the town of Harwich voted to form a charter commission.
Mm-hmm.
And these people got voted in, and they are going to be looking at the town charter. Now, the town charter determines how the government runs, right, in your town. Now, you can't go wacko and do whatever you want. The state of Massachusetts has guidelines for how towns run their government, so you have to, there's certain
Yeah.
things that you have to stick with. But other than that, you know, this is a fresh start, looking at the town charter. I would recommend that you go back and look at the existing charter, which doesn't say a lot about energy.
Well, I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because our charter is like it never existed. We have an advisory role. What does that mean? What does that mean? Means nothing.
Right. Well, we advise. I mean, that's what we're doing. We can't make any, I mean, we can't sign up to be a climate
But
committee. Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is we need the presence of the liaison person, at least
Right. Well, see, and
every
that,
6 months. And that is something I would
Yeah.
tell Cebula and Troy and
Right,
all
right,
the
right.
rest.
my husband's on that committee, the charter committee. Yeah.
Or your husband.
Right. And,
that
yeah.
we need to be taken seriously because
Well, they're at the very, very beginning of this, the process. I mean, they just got voted in. They've only had a couple of meetings. They had one public meeting, and like 2 people came. So there is also a lot of apathy around all of this, you know. But one of the things that they are looking at is accountability. And
Yes.
trying to build into a new charter, you know, accountability for everybody, you know, for Board of Selectmen, for town departments, for, you know, that type of thing, which I think is what kind of where we what we find frustrating, you know, that you can be told one
Absolutely.
thing and then who do you complain to
No,
if the Board of Selectmen doesn't?
I come from New York State,
Yeah,
and they don't have any board of selectmen. They have a mayor, and he's in charge of everything. They elect him every 4 years, and he's either a Republican.
well, they have
or
a town, they have a council, right? I mean,
Yeah, but they don't have all this town meeting business and all this other stuff that they have in Massachusetts. They don't have a town meeting. They just decide.
vote, but they do have representatives. I mean, like if you look at Boston, they have a mayor, and then they have the, what call it, the council,
I'm
you
talking
know,
about
like.
other states.
Right,
okay?
right.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
New York State.
Right.
okay?
But I think if you went into the teeny weeny little towns, you might find that they do have town meetings. Town meeting is a leftover from colonial days, you know, when the
Right,
towns were quite
right.
small,
Yeah.
and this is how they did it.
Right.
Now Barnstable, they gave up town meeting
Mhm.
because they got too big,
Mhm.
and they don't call it a mayor. I forget what they call it, but they do have like people that make decisions outside of
But
where
I
they don't
mean,
have to have a town meeting to
They
do
don't
make.
have a board of selectmen that has to hire a town administrator. They have a mayor that they elect every 4 years, and he runs on a certain,
Yeah,
party
yeah. I mean, I
line.
think we're all pretty familiar with mayors. You know, I mean, every big city, every big town in Massachusetts has a mayor. So I don't think it's a New York thing. I mean, every big town has a mayor.
but he's not, he's elected by the people.
Right. But so are the Board of Selectmen.
Well,
We vote them in. You know, it's not like they're volunteers or anything. I mean, they voted and they have you know, they voted in for a certain number of years and then they have to run again and.
I
You know,
think it's
yeah.
too fractured and too cumbersome the way
Yeah.
the system that they have here
Um,
to get anything done,
well,
actually.
Unfortunately, it's the system we got. You know, so.
But if they're talking about a charter
Right.
commission, maybe they need to look at other states and how they run their government.
Well, we can't
instead
look at other states. We have to stay within the state of Massachusetts. But Massachusetts does have a variety. Like I said, Barnstable they don't have a mayor, but they each village, like Hyannis and Katuitt and all, they vote in a representative, and that representative sits on the council, and they can make decisions without having to have a town meeting. That is where our problem happens, is our Board of Selectmen actually don't have that much power because they can't unilaterally decide certain things. Certain things have to go back to town meeting, that's, you know, on a warrant, which makes it
But-
more.
There was no town meetings
Yeah.
in New York State.
Right.
But I think this accountability
Mm-hmm,
concept
Mhm.
reminder
yeah,
is very, very timely.
yeah. And
Because-
they know it, you know, and they're looking at it, and it's one of the things that has bubbled up as being something that everybody
Yeah, because
wants, yeah.
that is exactly what frustrates me with our
Mhm.
charter, which
Mhm.
is junk.
Yeah,
Pure
and if you look at
junk.
our charter, how do we know we're even following it? You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
who's in charge of making sure that
Mhm.
whatever the charter says,
It's
We're
implemented.
doing it, you
Yeah.
know? So anyway, that's a bigger picture than our,
But I'm glad they are
yeah,
working on
but
it.
they're working on it. So, don't give up the ship. We will pursue,
Are we gonna get I put in the minutes in the last meeting that, this guy that was our liaison,
oh, I'll contact,
and he was no longer, he's gonna be the
He's now-
top dog, so he's no
Right.
longer our liaison.
I have-
That they need to appoint, I sent him a copy of
Right.
this too.
Yep, yep.
But didn't
Yeah.
ring any bells. He
Yeah.
must not have either read it or didn't care.
it's in such disarray, you know, they got rid of Joe Powers, but Joe Powers did everything. So now they got Megan, so Megan is trying to get up to speed and doing stuff. They have to hire, they're still knee-deep in trying to get a new finance director. And I don't even know if they've finished that, you know, I don't know, you know, but I know they were getting close. I don't know if that person decline the offer or what,
You
but
mean Chiara or Schiara?
I have no idea.
That guy with very Italian name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows? But the point being is that it is difficult for a part-time Board of Selectmen. They're part-time. It's not like they have an office where they're here like all day and they can deal with things all day long. They don't get paid, you know, it's just a stipend. It's not that much, by the way.
Yeah, it's just the prestige or
Yeah, whatever.
the feeling of power.
Right. So they don't have a lot of time, and so they tend to get bogged down because, like you said, there's a lot of stuff that comes up. And if they are, some things they can decide right away, like, liquor licenses, they can vote on that,
Noise.
there are certain
Noise
things
is a
that
big deal.
the board can do, or they can hear complaints about like the noise, every time I go, some restaurant is getting in trouble because they had too much noise, or some, you know what I'm saying, or somebody's buying a restaurant and they want to also get the liquor license. That seems to take up an inordinate amount of time, their time, but we just have to, plug away at it. So I would recommend you look at the Cape Cod Commission toolkit. They have they have a bunch of recommendations of things to look at, and each one has one of these, like a little overview, like of key findings.
That's
And
terrific.
they have some for EV car, all these different things that you can look at.
How does the Cape Cod Commission differ or relate to DOER?
Cape Cod Commission is local, they're just a Cape. DOER is the state, it's part of state government.
Okay,
Yeah.
but they get financed by the state.
I don't know this is Barnstable County.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they might finance the Cape Cod Commission, the Barnstable County.
Right.
Okay.
So you can go through this. Education is something that we've always done. It's something, even though we don't get that good attendance, we could always, keep trying,
But education,
Yeah.
I see education also as having the liaison person with us every 6 months or more often. Megan attending our meetings once a year or so, get to know us,
Right.
that we exist.
Right. And I did talk, let's see where we are on the agenda here. Go. Climate leader, I'm going to talk with Megan and Lisa and see what our next steps might be. All right, so we're just going to leave it at that for the time
I
being.
think we need to keep in mind the objective of all this stuff, and that is, if you read the worst scenarios about this global warming, if we keep getting this carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, we're going to be all roasting, and we're going to have a hell of a planet Earth anymore, and we're trying to avoid all these storms, we're trying to avoid all these surges of water coming in, like they destroyed Longboat Key last year, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse if we don't do this. This is what we got to keep pounding into their
Right,
heads.
right, and
that's what the whole objective
Right,
of this
and
stuff
I think that the
the money
politicians-
is inconsequential
Right,
if
and I
you
think-
wreck the whole planet.
Right, and I think that there's when you're looking at a little town and our little selectmen, they tend to focus more on like not raising taxes and because that's their wheelhouse. This is what they think about. It's very difficult. Psychiatrists have looked at this since the very beginning of climate change. Human beings evolved to be very, very good at responding to immediate threat. We have that adrenaline
Denial.
system. If somebody spooks you, you jump. You don't even have to think about it.
Yeah,
That fight or flight.
denial is
Back in the day
very
when lions were chasing us around. We are really good at focusing on immediate issues. We have no mental capacity built in, no instinct built in that allows us to care about the future, the long-term future. The only way we can care about the long-term future is to engage our frontal lobes, the thinking part of our brain that allows us intellectually to project into the future, to look at things like climate change, which is happening. To the average person, it's happening slowly, but to a scientist, it is not happening slowly.
Yeah. Or someone like Greta.
Right. Thunberg.
To
10
her,
years
yes.
ago, down in Longboat Key at Spanish Main Yacht Club, that I proposed to the board that we have a plan when the surge wave comes in and wipes the community out to rebuild it. I hired the architect that rebuilt the Publix on Longboat Key, and they elevated the whole
Yep,
land
everything,
12 feet
yep.
high, and they built a brand new Publix, tore the old one down. And I hired the same architect for $8,000, and he come up with, instead of 211 individual villas 3 feet above sea level, 11 buildings with 2 stories over parking, so that and burned all up and completely redo the whole community. And it took me 2 years to get it approved by the town of Longboat Key, because I could see, and now
And they didn't do it.
nobody can even live in there now.
No?
It bugs me that nobody else could see forward like I
Right.
seem to be able to, and I don't know what to do. I
Right.
try, but I
Right.
can't, I'm like,
It's denial, Charlie. Denial reality. It's easier to dismiss it.
every time I see a potential problem, I figure out, what is the solution to this problem?
Because you're an engineer.
I can't help myself.
That's
Yeah,
because you're
yeah.
built that way.
Yeah.
But I hate to break it to you, but not everybody is.
Right.
And
So
and
true.
so,
So
you know,
true.
the short-term issues tend to get more attention, you know, because they're imminent.
Mhm.
Whereas, you know, when you're telling people, you know, you want to protect in the long term. But, you know, I hate to say this, but I think in the end, these storms and these disasters are going to
win.
speed up, you know, and that and you won't be able to ignore it, you know.
Yeah,
It.
yeah.
But by then, you know, mitigation's too late,
Yeah,
you
yeah. Of
know.
course.
But anyway, keep in mind we live in, for the next couple of years, the federal government is not going to be supportive of any of this. As a matter of fact, they're busily deconstructing anything that had to do with climate.
Absolutely.
And, you know, they're taking, you know, EPA has been told they can't look at carbon dioxide anymore.
Mhm.
You know, they have to forget carbon dioxide as, you know, you know, so at the federal level, things are not good, you know, and that's the way it is, you know, and we have to, hopefully people
Yeah,
will,
if we celebrate that we are going to,
Right.
how do you say, exploit
and so much coal,
coal
all on federal land too.
on federal land. Oh,
Yeah.
God, it hurts.
I don't know who we're gonna sell the coal to, but, anyway,
That's a good one.
yeah.
They're closing down almost all the coal-fired
Yeah,
power
but-
plants.
but
They don't even have them anymore.
China's interesting because China is like #1 in renewable energy. Like they have more renewable energy than any other country.
They also got a lot of electric vehicles.
They do. But you know what? They are still building coal-fired electric plants because they need so much electricity that they, even though they're #1 in renewables, it doesn't meet their needs. And
They're
so,
making very low price in EVs
Yeah.
too.
right?
It would be a dream if that fusion thing were to work out
Right,
and wipe
Everybody
all
out.
us out. Oh, I would love
Just
it.
have a little fusion plant in your basement, you'll be good. But anyway, so we will keep, you know, I will talk to Megan, talk to Lisa
Mhm.
next, in September, you know, think about, you know, educate yourself, keep track of, you know, read, you know, keep track of what Truro is doing in East Tim if you can, read through the.
So when do you expect to go back before the board again?
I have no idea, probably not till September,
Mm.
yeah, but,
So what are you gonna ask them this time?
well, that's why I have to talk to
Revision.
Megan first.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Because
an
I
example.
I mean, are you gonna bring up the same stuff, or are you gonna try some
specific
new angles?
examples.
Are you
Well,
gonna
I have
show
to-
them what all these storms we've had all summer
Right.
long, every single day?
Right,
Do you
right.
do you care about the rest of the world at all? Or do you just
No,
care
they
about
don't.
Harwich?
Because, yeah, because they're going to say that what can one little town, what we do won't make any difference, and that I know is you know, because a lot of people are like that.
Mhm.
You say, well, you could do this, you could do that. Well, I'm just one person. I would not make a difference, you know.
Mhm.
So that's probably a dead end. But I'm going to talk to Megan, find out if what they did after my last visit, and that will give me more ideas of what to approach next.
Right.
Right. I am, believe it or not, going to be speaking to the Harwich Republicans
Good for you.
on August 7th.
Boy, that's gonna be a tough spell.
And what are you going to talk about?
Climate leader, you know, and you know why it's important and why I think that the town should continue to look into this and
Yeah.
you know and get on board. I'm sure they're not going to be the most friendly audience, but I feel like I have to
It's a challenge.
You know.
After January 6th, I disenfranchised myself and Linda, so we're not affiliated now. I didn't want to
Right.
be anything to do with
No.
Republicans.
No. Anyway, you've all had a chance to look at the Truro thing. I would imagine we would be able to look at Eastham. I mean, I imagine those things we'll be able to see other towns, what they're doing pretty soon. The Charter Commission does want our input. All right, so they have officially asked for our committee to give them some input on how, we see ourselves within the
Are you
town.
gonna make something up, or what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm going to give you guys a chance to think about it too.
Okay, so we should give you input then?
Right, because it's not just me.
Well-
I'll forward you the email. It wasn't very specific, we just wanted
Well,
input.
I
I mean, would
personally
you
think that.
like a bunch of bullets, like do these things here,
I would
include this
like-
stuff here, or what?
I think just brainstorm at this point,
Well,
whatever.
I'll say whatever I think.
Yeah, and then, maybe in September, we can bring those together and sort of distill it
Okay.
out
We'll
into.
discuss it together.
Yeah, and then we
And
can.
then make up a plan for that.
Exactly,
Okay.
like put all of our ideas together, we'll probably come up with some of the same things, and then we'll send off our our response to the
Okay.
Charter Commission. But they have officially asked us to,
Is there a timing issue? I mean,
I don't think
if we wait
so.
till September, is that okay?
that's fine,
I think
yeah,
it's okay,
yeah. Cape Light Compact, we've officially created a search committee to replace Maggie Downey. I'm on the search committee. It's not gonna be easy. Unfortunately, the chairperson of the Cape Light Compact Board, he also resigned. So, we're a little discombobulated here, but anyway, that's an ongoing process. And no meeting in September.
No
voting in
meeting-
August.
No meeting in September, too?
No, August. And I don't have a date for the September. I will come up with that little later, and we'll see if we can find a date. I did speak to Katie McManus about joining the committee. I just happened to run into her.
That's a
I
tough
noticed you
And-
talking to her down there.
Yep.
That's very practical.
And I had sent an email to her father, but apparently he did not share that with her. I don't know. I didn't have her email. I now have her email. And so she's going to think about it. She's because she's young, she has a full-time job. So she will think about it for herself, but she's also going to talk to her friends, because, like I said, there may be somebody among your friends that this is their passion. They want to do something about climate, and this might be a way for them
That's
to do
a
it.
good idea. That's a good
so
idea.
If I don't hear from her in a couple of weeks, I'll send her an email and say hi, just tuck it in, and see where that goes. So if we can get
And it's also good for her, I think, for her next attempt to become a
Right.
select
well,
person.
she's been approached by many committees.
I bet.
Now, the other thing is that
What's her name again?
Katie McManus,
McManus.
MANUS.
I voted for her.
Yep, me too.
Me too. We all did.
And she only lost by 50 votes, so I think that's a good showing, for a first time out,
Absolutely. I
That
found
was
it
very, very
excellent.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so, what was I gonna say? So, well, anyway, so I will send you suggestions for September meetings that you can let me know if they work for you.
Okay.
I shouldn't put anything about her, perhaps.
No,
in-
no.
in the-
No.
the-
You can just say, we continue to look for new members.
That's good, that's good.
Which gets published. Oh, I noticed that Pam Latimer, she's working on a letter and she's going to get signatures on the letter to send to the selectmen about.
Building a community.
Pardon?
Building
Yeah,
a
about,
community.
yes, we, the citizens of Harwich, do support climate leader, and for
That's
all these
terrific.
reasons, and so it's not always us, they get tired of hearing me,
Of course.
Yeah. So they're doing, I told them, I said, it can't have
That's-
my name on it, it can't have the committee on it, because
Yeah.
it can't look like we're doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
But thank you for doing it, you know,
Well, it
and,
is.
but
That's
it'll be from
terrific.
the Harwich Climate Action Network.
Right. That would be a terrific contribution on
Yeah.
that part.
Which will also keep it on the radar for them, you know, if they get this letter and, it has signatures on it,
Mhm.
then. Alrighty,
Okay, well, I wish you a super August,
yeah,
restful.
hopefully you, get to do something fun,
Yeah,
go to the beach.
yeah.
I was in the water swimming up in Lake Champlain, which
Oh,
is
that must be cold.
Yes, well, because of the fact I didn't want to be a chicken, I bought my